Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Bar Hashem Yahushai, Bar Hashem HaRakah Kodash. Double honor unto double honors unto the elder apostles of great millstone all well. And shalom to the hopeful elect. This is Fire Allah. This is news and prophecy, prophecy and news update. The date today is the 26th of November 2024, the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. And the time of the end is rapidly approaching. All right, we're in monumental times right now, as far as prophecies within the Bible. All right, we're in the end. All right, and the kingdom of heaven is steadily approaching. I say steadily, but speedily. All right, rapidly approaching. All right, and you need to make sure you're right for the time to come, because the days to come, men are gonna be as women in that day. All right, and there's only gonna be a handful of men, all right, equipped to withstand that day. Okay, so this is a measuring of the time, all right, as we're ordained to do, watch as well as pray, and in doing so, we have to measure the news, all right, what is happening within the world. You know, as the acronym, the famous acronym for the word news is North, East, West, South, meaning that it's information or the happenings of everything that compasses the earth. All right, and you gotta look as far as concerning those things that are happening within the earth and measure them through the prophetic events which we are privy to, being that the secrets of the Heavenly Father are revealed unto his servants the prophets, and make it known unto those as well that are like mind, all right, that these things are happening and that we're close to salvation. What mind we ought to be in all holy conversation, etc., etc. So I got a few articles. Some of these are relatively old, all right, or I say relatively old, only a few days old, maybe a week or so. Some of them as well, but these are some that I didn't get to um, pick out or do um, during the course of time. But Kala Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai Ba'Shem Harakah Kudash, he has allowed me, Lord willing, to do them this day. So first one I'm going to start with is from apnews.com, and the headline reads: Trump on day one, begin deportation push, pardon January 6th rioters, and make his criminal cases vanish. All right, so this Trump's rule that's looking to come into play looks like something out of the movie Purge. All right, in a sense of um, this man's a businessman. All right, he spoke about how Jacobian um, haven't been, no one rates them in the eyes of America and how they built the country. He knows how to sell a dream, and he may do some things more so than what Obama's done, but he's not going to do what the Most High would do, which is bring about salvation and put you in your rightful stance and being within the world. All right, but the point being is that this man, all right, is gonna, Lord willing, initiate the end of this world, man. All right, and have a key part to play within it. All right, we've seen Sleepy Joe, make a. That's one of the because I just remembered now. That's one of the articles I'm gonna get into. I had that on layaway. I'll probably get into that another time, Lord willing, because it speaks about it's a few days ago before Joe Biden kind of initiated the move with Ukraine for them to aiding them into uh, initiate an attack on Russia. There was like a back and forth with Trump and Biden as far as concerning, things coming into power, and we're seeing it manifest now. So anyway, let's just get into this article. So it says Donald Trump has said he wouldn't be a dictator except for day one. All right, which really shows you some shit, man. All right, so as I said, it reminds me of the Purge, where and Elon Musk did say he would be the last president, saying that basically this guy would lock in and just secure rulership forever. All right. Not to say that's going to happen, but these things are being said, and it really shows you that the time we're heading into is a very telling time, or a trivial time, should I say. According to his own statements, he got a lot to do on that first day in the White House. His list includes starting up the mass deportation of migrants, all right, which, even with that being said, I mean, hey, it's your country, and you know what it is. But that kind of rhetoric um, carries a lot of social stigmas with it. Like how could I say it? It carries a lot of like you know subtle undertones. That's the word you use. Like racist undertones. All right, whereby the right, the far right, all right, and people with racial beliefs or racist beliefs, should I say, may take it upon themselves to because Trump's in office, just feel like, yeah, we can fuck up. If I think you're illegal alien, I'm gonna fuck you up and then call ICE on you and get you kicked out of the country. All right, so it may bring it. And there's a movie clip I remember where it will speak. It's where there's some journalists and they get stopped by some militia fighters or something like that, and they killed the guy on the spot. Right, it kind of fucked up the people that were American. Anyway, rolling back Biden administration policies on education, reshaping the federal government by firing potentially thousands of federal employees he believes are secretly working against him, and pardoning people who were arrested for their role in the riot at the Capitol on January 6th, 2021, which says a whole lot. All right, saying a whole lot because again, the pardon of the people, all right, arrested for their role in the riot means what? That those people that did those actions basically green lighting them to turn up and get active. All right. So it's gonna be a real like them first. Even we see the since it's been acknowledged that he's won. There's been a shift in the economics of the and different things. It looks like it's gonna be good, but with the things Biden's doing and the possible things that can happen before Biden gets in office, up until the time when Trump gets his first day in office, it's gonna be crazy, man. Monumental shit's gonna happen. All right. I want to close the border and I want to drill, 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 he said on his day one plans. And I don't think he's talking about going out on a drill, sliding with some extendos, all right, and sticks. When he took office in 2017, he had a long list um, too, including immediately renegotiating trade deals, deporting migrants, and putting in place measures to root out government corruption. Those things didn't happen all at once. Um, how many executive orders in the first week? There will be tens of them. And we've seen it with the audio. I don't know if you've seen the audio of him speaking from the day, a few moments after he got voted into office. He basically put out a video and he's going through various different laws that he's going to enact. And he seemed like, yo, he's about that business. So we're going to see like a big shift. And I want to see how, I'm looking forward to see how it plays out on the world stage. All right, where it's going to take everything to. How many executive orders in the first week? No, I read that. Trump's national press secretary, Carolyn Leavitt, told Fox News on Sunday. Here's a look at what Trump has said he will do in his second term and whether he can do it the moment he steps into the White House. Make most of his criminal cases go away, at least the federal ones. Trump has said that within 2 seconds of taking office, that he would fire Jack Smith, the special counsel who has been prosecuting 2 federal cases against him. Smith is already evaluating how to wind down the cases because of the long-standing Justice Department policy that says sitting presidents cannot be prosecuted. Smith charged Trump last year with the plotting to overturn the results of 2020 presidential election and legally hoarding classified documents at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida. All right. Trump cannot pardon himself when it comes to his state conviction in New York in a hush money case, but he could seek to leverage his status as president elect in an effort to set aside or expunge his felony conviction and stave off potential prison sentence. A case in Georgia where Trump has was charged with election interference will likely be the only criminal case left standing. It would probably be put on hold until at least 2029 at the end of his presidential term. The Georgia prosecutor on the case just won re-election. Right, pardon supporters who attacked the Capitol with 1,500 people, um, with the with more than 1,500 people have been charged since a mob of Trump supporters spun up by the outgoing president attacked the Capitol um, uh, almost nearly 4 years ago. All right, blah 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 blah. So it says dismantle the deep state of government workers. Trump could begin the process of stripping tens of thousands of career employees of their civil service protections so they could be more easily fired. He wants to do two things: drastically reduce the federal workforce, which he has long said is an unnecessary drain, and to totally obliterate the deep state, perceived enemies who he believes are hiding in government jobs. All right. Within the government, there are hundreds of political appointed professionals who come and go with administrations. There also are tens of thousands of career officials who who work under Democratic and Republican presidents that are considered apolitical workers whose expertise and experience help keep the government functioning, particularly through transitions. Blah 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 blah. Impose tariffs on imported goods, especially those from China. Trump promised throughout the campaign to impose tariffs on imported goods and particularly those from China. He argued that such import taxes would keep manufacturing jobs in the United States, shrink the federal deficit, and help lower food prices. He also cast them as central to his national security agenda. Tariffs are the greatest thing ever invented, Trump said during a September rally in Flint, Michigan. Alright, man. So there's a lot of things, that he wants to do, right? Which really just shows you, um, you can read the article, all right? Um, but a lot of it sets about is gonna set about a great divide, all right? So let's read some scriptures. So it's the book of Revelation 13 and 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Right, so this is speaking about the the political system being out of the right and the left. Right, those two horns represent the right and the left. Right, the right being what was known in Rome, the Republicans, which is otherwise known in America today as it was known as the patricians in Rome, and in this modern day era known as the Republicans. And then when you go back to Rome, the left hand side would be known, or the left would be known as the plebeians or plebs, all right, which today would be known as the Democrats in Babylon the Great. All right, so those political systems as we are in this, as you can see with America, have taken the helm all the more and driven a greater divide amongst the people. And we're seeing that manifest to the point where you can see that the tensions are boiling to the point where there's going to be this, it potentially is going to bring about civil war. All right. So to build on that point, let's go to this book of Matthew. So man. So this is the book of Luke 11 and 17 down to 19, which reads, "But he, knowing their faults, said unto them, Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and a house divided against itself falleth." Right. So when you deal with the White House, all right, let's use that as a visual example of what this represents. Now, the White House, basically the winner of the left or the right, all right, when it goes to through the means of democracy, demo meaning people, cracy meaning rule. So the people's rule, or mob rule as it was known in Rome, they go to the ballots and they basically vote and they determine who's going to be set in office, which ultimately whoever sits in there has the goal of the greater power in mind. All right, but now it's got to a point so far gone that even the rich, they still make money off them regardless who gets into it. But that divide is being driven so hard that whoever sits in that house, all right, is basically the leaning force, but they're still uh greatly against the other side. All right. So this is a thing where, this house, being America, is divided against itself. All right. So it's set to do what? As the Lord spoke of, fall. Verse 18, if Satan also be divided against himself, how shall his kingdom stand? All right. So if Satan is against Satan, how is his kingdom going to stand? Because in order for you to fight against something, you need to fight in unison in one goal. Because if you're fight, if there's another, if you're actually fighting against someone else, but you got infighting within, you're not going to be able to fight that other person. Because you say that I cast out devils through Beelzebub, and if I by Beelzebub cast out devils, by whom do your sons cast them out? Therefore shall they be your judges. So, there it goes. You can't do that. All right. So ultimately, let me finish with this. Book of Revelation 17, 16 and 17. So it says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. Right, so even more so, because I was gonna go here, I might go here to build upon that point. Um, so this is in the book of Daniel, the second chapter, and verse 41. It says, and whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part potter's clay and part of iron. All right, this is basically the extension of that Iron Kingdom, being the Roman Empire. All right, being the final rulership which we're presently in. All right, of the heathen rule, or basically within the statue, the various key prophecies as far as the different heathens ruling over the earth. It says, and whereas thou sawest the feet and the toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron. Right, so when you go out through the course of this statue, Nebuchadnezzar, the head of gold, it goes to the point of the feet being of iron and clay mixed. So what happens throughout the course of this statue is the metals in terms of value grow in inferiority. All right, they become less valuable, but in terms of density or you know, you know how heavy, how hard it is to make them malleable, like to change them, their density grows. All right, so like for example, gold is a lot softer than iron. All right, but iron is not as expensive as gold. All right, but then when you get to the final kingdom, the iron in like strength is greatly inferior or weak. All right, because it's mixed with clay. All right, so it really shows you the foundation of all of these rulerships anyway were built upon foundations of sand, so to speak, because clay and sand are more or less similar type of things. But anyway, reading on, it says, and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided. All right, what did we speak about before? What did I read about before? The Lord speaking about Satan's kingdom being divided. But there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. All right, and that's where you see nations when you deal with the ten toes. You see nations like France, the UK, Germany, and what's another strong nation? Say those three for now. All right, but then you see the weaker nations like the pigs, Portugal, Ireland, Italy, Greece, Spain. All right, those will be considered that of the clay. All right. And this is talking about the nations that are joined onto. So you're seeing division within Europe being that align themselves, that are like the EU and NATO that align themselves with America. You see division within America, and then you're going to see division amongst the two of them as well, right? Which I was reading about. So it says, verse 42, and as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. So let's get back to the point in Revelation 17, which reads, Revelation 17:16, and the 10 toes which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked. So they ain't gonna mix with each other. That's why you even have the BRICS happen, where the UK, or should I say, um, you know, yeah, you could say the UK, I believe Britain has severed their ties with the EU, save Ireland. All right, but it says these shall hate the whore. So you're gonna see that divide now between the two, and shall make her desolate and naked to the point where they're gonna send their missiles and align themselves with their present enemy of America, being Russia, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. For the Most High have put in their hearts to fulfill His will. All right, the fact that they're working together is based upon the will of the Heavenly Father, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. Right, there you go. Okay, so let's move on to another article. These two really go together. Gonna read a little bit of this, and this really shows you that Trump coming into office is basically going to bring about that, as I said before, the purge kind of spirit, all right? Because a lot of people are worried that, the moment that Kamala Harris gets put in office, civil war would break out, and it'll be like a reminiscent of January 6th, 2021, with Trump supporters, militias, and whatnot. Because they even had a little outbreak of a militia war that they kind of put tabs on, put a blackout on in the media, but then people were ready. All right, but now this is operating from a whole different type of angle. FBI investigates racist tweet messages sent to black people across the US. Authorities are investigating racist text messages sent to black Americans across the country, telling them to report to a plantation to pick cotton. So it shows you that the spirit of make America great again is what? When America had you so-called Negroes in slavery picking cotton, all right, being the slaves, All right, that's when they were thriving and had abundance of wealth. And all of you people that voted for Trump or believe that Trump is going to do you good, all right, remember he's the lesser of two evils. He may do you some good, but he's the lesser of two evils. Then none are right. Only the Heavenly Father is right. Black Americans, including school and college students, were among the recipients in states including Alabama, North Carolina, Virginia, New York, and Pennsylvania. All right. The FBI so that shows you it's above the what? Is it the Kentucky line? I forget what the name of that thing is. All right, but it's, above that, the divide of the North and South. So it even shows you they're fucking with you above that, where you were so-called free. The FBI is aware of the offensive and racist text messages sent to individuals around the country and is in contact with the Justice Department and other federal authorities on the matter. The agency said the messages appear to have started on Wednesday, the day after election day. Some of the messages mentioned the Trump campaign, which strongly denied any connection. Steve, and even right now, you had another guy that was basically saluting, did a Nazi salute that got pulled up into Trump's office. Trump ain't put no so-called Neros up in office. It's looking a bit sketchy for you guys right now. All right, but Judah, you got to be roused up. All right, it's gonna take quite some shit to happen for you to, get cracked. Rouse your spirit up, stir up your pure minds. Stephen Chung, sorry, a campaign spokesman said the campaign has absolutely nothing to do with these text messages. The source of the anonymous messages and total number sent are unclear. A 42-year-old mother in Indiana sent a copy of the texts her high school aged daughter received to the BBC. The messages said that the daughter had been selected to become a slave at your nearest plantation and will be picked up in a white van and searched thoroughly once you've reached your destination. And I even show you that search thoroughly shows you of, stop and frisk. We call it stop and search over here. All right. And, that basically, has the racial undertones of the police. You had KRS famously said in his song The Sound of the Police, overseer, saying how overseer and officer are one and the same thing, all right, and it's drawing those connotations, all right. It says the woman who asked to remain anonymous for her safety called the messages extremely alarming and made her feel really vulnerable. It's because America's history, uh, it's because of America's history, but the timing is specific to the day after the election. She said this had to be a strategized effort. Right, so, it's worth reading more into this, but basically I want to get some scriptures to really show you, like, hey man, it's coming. It's coming. It's readily approaching. All right. I might not want to read that actually. Let me read it. Let me read it. I might as well. Final ease. All right. So this is the book of Deuteronomy 28 and 64 and 5. Reads, and the Lord Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people, which has happened to this day. All right. And as Yahweh shall prophesied in the book of Acts, the first chapter, he said that he'd basically, send the apostles, throughout the different various towns and places, but into the uttermost part of the earth, which we've been scattered to in this day and age. All right, I'm not over there, but that's the main bulk of what's happening is over that side of Odessa. I'm messing around, man. I ain't no Jamaican, man, but I just come out through the spirit, man. I'm channeling my Benjamite brethren. I'm around, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods. which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Right. So this is what's happened right now, and to the point where you have our people heavily engrossed with Islamic religion, all right, which worship the stone, the Kaaba stone, all right, showing you that, and even with the idols and whatnot. Verse 65, and this being the point, that's why I read it. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Lord Yahweh shall give thee their trembling heart and failing of eyes and sorrow of mind. And what did that girl's mother speak about? She spoke about, you know, a trembling of heart. You know, her mind is trembling, man. You know, extremely, extremely alarming, and a feeling of vulnerability. So let's build upon that. So it's the book of Isaiah 30, I think. I'll go with 31 to 3. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. Right. The mere fact that you went down to the voting booth and you voted for Kamala or you voted for Donny, listen, that's off. All right. You're trying to find a covering of this world. All right. And that's why you fell um, over and over again. All right. Over and over. Um, so it says in verse 2 that walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen that themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Right. Because this nation that we're in right now, as it tells you in the book of Revelation, the 11th chapter, is basically channels the spirit of Sodom and Egypt as well as Rome. All right. So you people going down there, it's the same as you not going in the spirit of Moses, you know, saying, let my people go, but going down there and saying, look, man, or rebuking Moses and saying, look, man, why are you fucking up what we got going on? We got to get up burdens now. All right. But this man's got you in slavery. He ain't going to make it easier. All right. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. Yeah, you guys are voting for Kamala. You guys are all feeling yourself, all dancing, song and dance, have Beyonce, all these different celebrities out there. But now, you know, the egg's on your face. All right. You trusted in his Egypt, but it's showing you that there's nothing there for you. And even you guys that even voted for Trump and he succeeded and, you know, claim claimed the win, the shame's on you because you might have received this message right afterwards, and there it dawned on you. So let me read this as well, because this is what it's all culminating to. So it's the book of Revelation 3 and 10. All right. So it shows you the other side of the coin, Revelation 3 and 10, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, right? The faithful men, women, children of the Heavenly Father, and those that are covered under his covering, because they have been patient in accordance to what he said. I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation. All right, a moment, all right, where that C hip, that you know, that MOTB is brought forth and you know presented as a temptation. The Most High is going to make a way for you to escape, which shall come upon all the world. All right, everyone's going to have to deal with it to try them that dwell upon the earth, and this is where it's headed. These things are like scourges sent for amendment, for you to be like, yo, what the fuck am I trusting in this system? I need to look for the like my true calling. All right. Um, this is in the same stead as well. I don't really have to read it. That's the spirit. I gotta pay for it. So you had a lot of more says uproar, upticking harassment in the same line for my body, my choice. But now, let me go into this is the most recent thing I've seen. Um, let's go with writers. So it shows you wherever we get growing ever closer to this MOTB technology being rolled out. All right, all that's happening right now is that it's being marketed to the people in a positive fashion. All right, in a light of the pros of it all. All right, so that the marketing campaign, you look at it like it's for your benefit. So it's from Reuters.com. Musk's Neuralink to launch feasibility trial. All right, with brain implant, robotic arm. Let me look up this word feasibility. So basically, again, to my point, the word feasibility, a synonym of it, another way of saying it is practi- uh, practi- practicability, right? How practical is it? Does it make sense? All right. So this is them marketing it to the people, all right, saying that you can control a robotic arm. So anything that comes off, there's obviously going, stepping out with the most best ways for it to be used for people that are handicapped, etc., etc. All right, that's why it speaks about in the scriptures, as far as in the the mark in their head or in their forehead or in their hand. All right, but then after the fact, then it will be offered by other means, but they're presenting the most beneficial ways, so called first. So it says Elon Musk's brain technology startup Neuralink said on Monday it has received approval to launch a new feasibility study using its brain chip and experimental robotic arm. Now this is crazy because they said when they last did it, the monkeys they were using were dying, man. Like it was fucking them up. Like it just shows you for them to even go down this. If my memory serves me correctly, all right, there was no feasibility with the last one. It was a shit show. All right, Neuralink is conducting its PRIME study aimed at evaluating the safety of its wireless brain computer interface and surgical robot. It is assessing the initial effect of the implant in patients with quad, 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 quadriplegia. I ain't good with these words, man. I really ain't, man. A form of paralysis to control external devices with their thoughts. The company plans to cross-enroll participants in the feasibility study from the ongoing Prime trial. It said in a post on social media platform X. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, Neuralink, did not immediately respond to requests for details on the feasibility study. Last week, the company received approval from the regulator Health Canada to launch a trial of its device in Canada. Canadian neurosurgeons, in partnership with the startup, have regulatory approval to recruit six patients with paralysis in the study. In the United States, Neuralink has already implanted the device in two patients. It has allowed the first patient to play video games, browse the internet. See that they're basically being uploaded to the net, post on social media, and move a cursor on his laptop. The company has said its device is working well in a second trial patient who has been using it to play video games and learn how to design 3D objects. So yeah, so we're seeing progressions being made. All right, and I'm sure there's other things. There was something because I know I saw something. I was trying to find it, but I couldn't find it, man. All right, but hey, there you go. All right, so let's read some scriptures. So first one, Isaiah 36:6, which reads, "Lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed." Right. So you have our people, the Israelites, all right, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, and those that are scattered all over the earth that have belief in this system, Egypt. which is a broken reed, like a staff, the rule, the scepter, but it's broken, right? It ain't what it's cracked up to be, all right, of this broken reed on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand, right? So if you lean upon it, it will thrust through upon you. Though they join hand in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished, and pierce it. So is Pharaoh king of Egypt to all that trust in him. All right, but then also the other meaning to it is also that of what? That basically, if you trust in this man, you're gonna take that cannula, which represents the instrument that is used to poke inside the flesh of your hand or your forehead to inject that RFID chip into your hand or your mind. All right. So, you lean your hand on it against that cannula, then it will pierce it and be put in it. And then what will happen? So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all that trust in him. And that's likened onto that is known as the digital all, spoke of in the book of, or the all, it's a digital version of the all that is spoke of in the book of Exodus. All right, as far as if you go into, you serve a man, you're a Hebrew slave, or you serve a man, and you basically plainly say like, look, I love my master, I want to be with him. Then it'll take you before the judge, and they'll take you to a door, and then they'll pierce a goat, all through your ear. All right, and basically that's the same thing, but in a digital form. So basically, the reason why you're not meant to do that is because you're an Israelite. All right, you've been bought with a price. You belong unto the Heavenly Father, so you have to put your trust into Him. But not all Israel is of Israel. All right. So it's the book of Revelation 13. Um, I'll start from 14 and 13. I shall start from 12. And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Right, going into the Roman Empire. All right. Um, so it says, verse 13, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. All right, you had that happen first with the atomic bomb, but really with the nukes dealing with during the time of in the 90s. I forget the name of the battle. I believe it was in Yugoslavia. All right, so this is what had everyone in awe to the point where they trust in the king of Egypt and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by means of those miracles. Right, and these are miracles. These are powers that have been placed in the hand of Esau Edom on the left hand side through his power, Satan, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as should not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Right, and this is going to come to a head when we get into that time of Jacob's trouble with the MOTB being initiated. All right, because the image of the beast, like you have Trump, he said he's going to come in and take away the trans, but those things are part of the system. Regardless if he takes that one facet away, there's still a series of many other that pertain to the image of the beast. All right, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. So they're going to bring about that mark, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is a number of a man, and his number is 600 threescore and six, which is shown through the UPI barcode, I believe, which has six, and six on the end, middle, and the other end, the left, middle, and the right. All right. So I'll finish with this one: the judgment for those that take it. Revelation 14 and 9. And really, these are scary things. This really shows you the times that we're heading into and what kind of mindset you need to arm yourself with and the works you need to maintain and keep up with in order to be kept in those days away from all of this shit that's going to happen, man. So it's Revelation 14 and 9, and I'll third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Right. Now, and that shows you the other side of the coin is that when the fire comes, the elect are going to be saved through the midst of that fire, and then they're going to be alongside the angels in that they're going to see, and the Lamb, the Yahushua, sorry, in that they're going to see the destruction of America and those that dwell therein. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receive the mark of his name. So yeah, man, that was an update. Lord willing, you was edified. To the next one, say shalom, shalom.